All right. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we're gonna have us a little bit of a show this morning. I'm gonna leave y'all with the intro while I go get a little more coffee. All right, good morning. Here to lurk. I have to apologize to you. I was not able to find the t-shirts, but I've got a stack of them here somewhere. But I packed them up for an event. Well, yeah, it was a while ago. I packed up the ones that I have in stock for an event, and I just don't know where I've put them. They're in the house somewhere. I gotta find them. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the actual merch site, and we'll take a look at that together real quick. You can pick your t-shirt. While I'm clicking through and getting that pulled up. So this morning, just kind of doing a general show. I want to talk about a couple of items in the store. And hey, it looks like I've got some money sitting in the store. Somebody bought a shirt. Oh, somebody bought a couple of shirts. So here are the primary designs that are available. And if you'll give me your contact information here to lurk, give me an address I can send it to. I have these these four. The Black Lives Matter 20 narrative plot armor t-shirt. The Truth Should Matter with the Skull Chalice logo on it. We don't really use this logo, but I think it looks great on a black t-shirt. The Enemy is Filled with Chewy Nougat is an old classic. Some of you who knew me when I was active duty, no, that's not just a funny thing to say about Antifa, but that was actually the company motto for training company that I was in while I was the pennant guy. While I was the flag bearer and had to run around with the unit standard. And then, of course, the Brushfire Mind logo shirt. I'll be happy to send you the either of the other three that are up there. Most especially the election poster shirt, but I'll have to order that one and send it to you. I don't have any of those in stock. So yeah, take a look at that and let me know which one you want. And for the rest of you guys that didn't inadvertently just win something off of me because I'm a bit of a sucker, I'll go ahead and post the link to the merch store there, and y'all can pop on there. Or if you don't want to click the link right now, you can always go to thebrushfiremind.com. And clarification, it's not thebrushfiremind.com, it's brushfiremind.com. This is actually our website. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't do much with. I should add some more stuff to the website. But, you know, you got the SpaghettiOs movie running there. You can always go watch the SpaghettiOs movie. There's a couple other short films we've done that I think you can access through the same. You can access through that same link. You can drop us a line. You can send me a message. This'll just come to my email, and you can always contact us there. The link to buy me a coffee is there, and we do some of our fundraising to support the show. You know, replace camera equipment, update microphones. You know, we've got headphones. I go through about one pair of these headphones a year because I wear them for several hours a day between doing the show and doing video and photo editing and working. And then, of course, it says get merch. You click on the shop now button and it'll pop you back over to that merch store. And guys, I've tried to set up the merch store through a different vendor a couple times, and I just don't like the other ones. Which I'm not particularly fond of the user experience on Design by Humans, but of the handful of other vendors that I've looked at for the merch store, I just have not had a great experience there. So this is what I'm using for now. There's a few more that I want to check out, but I got to take the time to do that. And hey, right now my mother-in-law is in town. We're going to spend some time with mom and dad down at the farm, and I've still got the day job to do. So I probably won't get around to that, to changing that vendor up for at least a couple more weeks. So I'm just kind of taking it easy this morning. There are a few kind of news items that I want to take a look at, but kind of here's where we are. There's a Supreme Court ruling that we're expecting on a couple of Trump matters. The Nevada primary, the Nevada primary's over, and Trump won that without appearing on the ballot. Y'all saw that. Nikki Haley lost to none of these candidates by 2-1. Got absolutely boo-fooed over that. If she doesn't drop out now, okay. In fairness, I understand that. Okay. I'll unpack this a little bit. It is not that Nikki Haley believes that Nikki Haley or her campaign and campaign managers, it is not that they believe that they have a chance to win. And it is not, as many have suggested, that they believe that Trump will actually be convicted, removed, disqualified, or for whatever other reason not be eligible to be elected come November. It is that in order to attempt to manifest what they hope to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, they are holding on to the campaign to do two things. Well, three things, but two of them are kind of simultaneous. So two things together: to raise money for pure profit, because that's what happens when you contribute campaign donations to a candidate and they lose. If there's anything left in the coffers, it just goes in their pocket. Right? So in part, it's about making money, and in part, it's about bleeding Trump's coffers to help Biden win. Make no mistake, Nikki Haley In fact, let me pull this up real quick before I go down this. Nikki Haley is a darling of the Democrats. They may attempt to kind of virtue signal to the contrary. I can't find it, but here we go. Nikki Haley is bragging that there's this new Wisconsin poll shows Trump tied with Biden and Haley ahead by 15 points. And then she had another one out. Apparently she did a big event in California and it was just packed. Oh, Nikki Haley had a rally in California and it was packed. Yeah, the Democrats love Nikki Haley because it's this simple. She's Dick Cheney in a skirt. She is the war candidate. She is a pro-war candidate. The Democrats right now want two things above all others. They want anybody but Joe Biden to be their president and for that president to work them into a new forever war. Right, make no mistake, we are currently at war with Russia. De facto. Right? It's, we have, Congress hasn't declared war. Right? We're not doing a lot of the things that you might expect are part of the trappings of war. But Tucker Carlson just went over to Russia to interview Vladimir Putin. And everybody lost their fucking minds. Why? He's just the president of a foreign country. It's not like we're at war with them, are we? Oh, but if we were at war with them, that would be a very different thing. So, of course, everybody's losing their minds. Because we are de facto at war. We are at war with Russia in the same way that if a police officer says, you ask, oh, am I being detained? No, just stay here for a minute. Well, then I'm free to go. No, you're not free to go. So I'm being detained. No, you're not being detained. I am either free to go or I am being detained. If I am being detained, that is a legal process that you have to comply with. War is the same kind of thing. Oh, well, no, we're not at war with Russia. Are we trading bullets with the motherfuckers? Just don't get it twisted. Like, one of the greatest regrets of my life is that I had to spend my productive years killing terrorists instead of communists. Now, I love killing terrorists. It was great. But I would have really gotten into killing commies. That would have been awesome. Awesome. That might have been a... Kiwi Turtles asks, "Sir, are you a part of the government or a citizen?" I am, in fact, an American citizen. Thank you kindly. And I am no longer affiliated with or employed by the government. And that has been true for over a decade now. Which, is hard. So, Kiwi Turtle says, "I think words are stronger than bullets." That's cute and not entirely wrong. And if we're being fair, among the many reasons that I do this show, don't get it twisted. I'm not no Steven Crowder, I'm no Daily Wire, obviously. This is a hobby for me. But it's also a way that I can, to some extent, I can keep up the fight. Here to Lurk asks, how old were you when you realized McCarthy was onto something in the 50s? Okay, that's a great topic. I could do a whole show on the McCarthy thing, but let's just kind of summarize McCarthyism real quick. There's a lot of conspiracy theory, rabble rousing, and general psychopathy wrapped up in talking about McCarthyism and the idea that McCarthy was on some kind of a witch hunt for magic communists that were everywhere. And well, here's the truth. McCarthy was on a hunt for magic communists that were everywhere. And it turns out, we learned later, he was right. The entire government had been infiltrated by communist agents. They were fucking everywhere. McCarthy was right. That's worth remembering. Right? You know, people look back and see Yuri Bezmenov warning us that the Kremlin, that the KGB had put together a plan, and now I suspect that China was always involved in that, and TikTok is just further for that, put together a plan to destroy the family, emasculate American men, promote sexual depravity, and demoralize the American people in order to collapse the United States from within. And people say, oh, that's crazy, crazy. And I give you now, 40 years later, Rainbow Dildo Butt Monkey. Drag Queen Story Hour. Active, the current border bill. This border bill that everybody's talking about, right? Obvious pedophile Joe Biden is all for the new border bill that actively excludes from its break glass tabulation unaccompanied minors of non-contiguous foreign host nations. Who do you think make up the bulk of the child sex slaves that are being trafficked into Hollywood and into D.C.? Right? So Biden's happy to shut down the border if too many Mexicans come across in one day, but don't you dare slow down the tap. Don't you dare slow down the tap on child slave trades. No. More slaves on the planet today than at any other time in history. Scattered show this morning, I know, and like I said, it's because we're in kind of a holding pattern right now. Everybody's freaking out about Tucker Carlson going to interview Putin, but we haven't actually seen the video yet. I don't think. At least I know I haven't. What I'm basically seeing a lot of right now is people talking about Tucker. You know, some people are defending him, and some people are attacking him. The EU has put out apparently sanctions, or moved to put sanctions on Tucker to prevent him from being able to travel. And it looks like they have not no, he hasn't released the video yet. I think it releases later today. So, you know, we're waiting on the Tucker video. That'll be worth talking about. We're waiting on the predictable results of the Nevada caucuses. So let's talk about that a little bit. But we're in a holding pattern. We're waiting on the Supreme Court. We're waiting on Nevada. We're waiting on Tucker. We're waiting on stuff. So today is an everything's going to happen later kind of day. Let me pull this up from the Las Vegas Sun. Trump expected to win big in Nevada caucuses tailored for him. Turnout still uncertain. Tailored for him. Okay, so we already know something about these assholes. They're trying to get people thinking that, oh, the Republicans are cheating. And here it goes. If you are a registered Republican voter in Nevada wanting to participate in today's caucuses, the state party says the process is simple. Either stop by a caucus site starting at 5 and stay for the whole meeting until 7:30, or cast your secret paper ballot and go. One of the reasons the party says it opted to run caucuses, which are operated independently from the oversight of the Nevada Secretary of State and county election officials, instead of participating in Tuesday's Republican presidential preference primary, is for election security. You must bring a valid government-issued identification to participate, they say. Hey, these guys are about to make the argument that the state-run election is more secure than the party-run caucus. But the party-run caucus requires government-issued ID. And just real quick, for people who doubt the paper ballot idea, let me say this much about the paper ballot. Hand-filled paper ballots, even fraudulent ones, right? Let's assume there's some big Democrat voting machine, a sweatshop full of people hand-filling ballots so that they pass muster and appear to be actually legitimate hand-filled paper ballots, which are in fact fraudulent. It's this simple. It really is. Those ballots cannot be produced. The hand-filled paper ballots, especially the fraudulent ones, cannot be produced as fast as fraudulently filled electronic ballots. I know. I'm asking the world of some motherfuckers out there. I'm asking Democrats to understand simple math. I know that's a lot. But it wouldn't be if we would abolish the Board of or the Department of Education. Simple math ain't that hard to teach when you're homeschooling. Like, how many balls do you have? Well, it must be hard to sit down if you have more than 2. Good job. So, it says one of the reasons operated for oversight in Nevada security instead of participating in Tuesday's Republican presidential preference primary is for security election. But their version of election security includes counting the paper ballots by hand with a party-issued observer, according to the state party website. Unlike elections coordinated by the Secretary of State, because those are never corrupted, Brad Raffensperger, that are secure and conducted electronically. There's no official clearinghouse for the caucus vote. Yeah, let's ask ourselves something about that. Let's pretend for a moment that the 2020 election was the safest and most secure election ever. That unlike any other election that has ever been held anywhere, ever, there was literally zero fraud in the 2020 election. Let's just assume that for the sake of argument for a moment. And yet, by polling data, the vast majority of Americans, including most Democrats, believe that there were concerning, at a minimum, irregularities which were cause for concern related to 2020. Related to the last presidential election. So you're going to make the argument to me that these items, coordinated by the Secretary of State, conducted electronically, and using an official clearinghouse, you're going to make the argument that these three key points together somehow equal a more secure election and selection process. And yet, the majority of Americans do not believe that to be the case. The majority of Americans do not believe you. There's something there. Right? Even if the case you state is that for these three reasons, our method is more secure than the caucus method. Even if that happens to be true, that the majority of Americans disbelieve the truth of your fact claim says a hell of a lot all by itself. So, I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in it this morning. I'm going to go say good morning to my mother-in-law. All the ladies are waking up and getting moving around, and I already saw Michael up manhandling some breakfast pastries. So let's see what's going on up there. But I do want to say this. The Georgia, we have a primary in Georgia where we're going to go and we're going to ostensibly trust our government in the state of Georgia, where there are some very, very serious questions. We're going to trust our government in the state of Georgia to conduct a secure primary election. And that is, according to this, the presidential preference primary is on March 12th. So a little over a month away. Now, in fairness, I have some major doubts that we're going to actually have a primary in Georgia. Basically, I expect that everybody except for Donald Trump will have already dropped out. If Nikki Haley makes it to Super Tuesday, it's going to be on sheer stubbornness and self-deceit, basically. Either that or she's just straight up being paid by the Democrats to continue to maintain the facade that there's a reasonable expectation that Trump will actually be convicted of anything out of these illegitimate. And okay, it is fair to have an expectation that Donald Trump will be convicted of something throughout the series of indictments. We can extrapolate that from the fact of the outcome of the case in the New York fraud case, where, despite the testimony of literally every single named alleged victim, has explicitly and in no uncertain terms denied their own victimhood and said, no, we made a shitload of money. Donald Trump's the man. There was never any fraud. He didn't just do nothing wrong. He did everything good for us, and we're wealthier because of it. And the judge directed a verdict anyway. Right? The judge literally created a situation where Trump's, and it's rare that innocence can be proved. That's why you're innocent until proved guilty. In the very rare circumstance where the innocence is essentially proved by the testimony of the identified alleged victims, the judge still chose to direct a verdict of guilt. So we can expect to see convictions only because we now know conclusively and beyond a reasonable doubt that the corruption of the justice system is complete and total. If you see a judge, you should hold on to your wallet and walk away from him. Just that's you should treat every judge as if he is obviously corrupt, because they're like cops now. There are so many of them that are obviously captured and corrupt that it is against your best interest. It is, in fact, a hazard to your safety and liberty to offer the benefit of the doubt to any of them. Because none of them are sufficiently uncorrupt or sufficiently incorruptible to be taking action to solve the corruption of their own organizations, of their own institutions. That by itself is corruption. So, I'm going to go, I really am going to put a pin in it there. Thanks for watching this morning, guys. We love you. Tomorrow is Firearms Friday, and I've got 2 stories that I want to cover tomorrow morning that I almost went into them this morning. It's a piecemeal show. I almost went into them this morning because there's some trending going on social media about them, but they really are Firearms Friday type stories, and I want to get into them tomorrow. So come back tomorrow morning. Look forward to seeing you. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.